loose forward, arrives at Cougar Park following a spell with the Dewsbury Rams. Wellham, who's the elder brother of the Keighley fullback Matt, is a centre or back row forward and arrives at the club from Doncaster.
Cronulla captain Paul Gallen has confirmed that he will hang up his boots at the end of the season. Gallen equalled Andrew Ettinghausen's 328-game record for most appearances for the Sharks earlier this season. The forwards earned 32 caps for Australia and made 24 appearances for New South Wales at Origin level during his career.
He's also on course to have lost more games than anyone else and be the losingest player ever.
Wow. I suppose when you play a lot of games for a relatively shit side, you'll still end with a grand final winner's ring and, good experience of how to try and get around bans from being at stadiums or, peptides or whatever,
Generally being a bit of a grub.
Yeah. He'll have learnt a lot of shady stuff in his time at the Sharks.
And
Excellent.
Finally, as part of the Festival of Rugby League at the Thatcher Magic Weekend in Liverpool, Channel 4's The Last Leg hosts Adam Hills and Alex Brooker will renew their Rugby League rivalry as Warrington Wolves and Leeds Rhinos Physical Disability Rugby League PDRL teams go head-to-head on the Anfield turf. The two teams met in the first ever PDRL game in February 2018 when Brooker's Rhinos claimed the bragging rights in a 22-10 victory over Hills Wolves. Since then, Warrington have gone unbeaten, including a revenge win over Leeds at Headingley and a victory in the inaugural PDRL World Club Challenge against South Sydney Rabbitohs at ANZ Stadium in Sydney. The Wolves and Rhinos will play a special exhibition game to showcase PDRL at half-time in the Betfred Super League game between Hull FC and Huddersfield Giants, kicking off at 4:30. That's an interesting one because I think things like this is what enables us to tap into a new audience and get people who wouldn't normally watch rugby league to watch. So, for example, my girlfriend, we watched The Last Leg pretty much every week. She probably wouldn't want to watch a game of rugby normally, but I bet if I said that the two guys off The Last Leg are playing, then, or do you want to see Alex Brooker get smashed about? Then she probably quite enjoy. Have got a chance of getting her to watch. So it's something that we need to think about, this sort of thing. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, and I'm sure beyond Heather as well, The Last Leg has a big audience, doesn't it? And there'll be plenty. Yeah. It's a great example because there'll be plenty of people in that sort of position that it helps. And I know that they're going to be doing other stuff at the Magic Weekend as well. They're going to have like the LDRL games there, aren't they? From the Learning Disability Super League. We already heard about that on the SLP short that Sarah did with the guys from the Learning Disability Super League. Go back and listen to that if you want to get a few more details there as well. I think we took that from the TotalRL.com websites. We do encourage you all to go and check out Love Rugby League and TotalRL.com for all the news stories as they develop during the week, even if Total RL do shows with nicknames like our shows and then don't credit us for it. But yeah, if you have any views on the stories that come up over the next week, definitely get in touch on the Google form for news views during the week on the news. We'll look out for the links to that and then save the link to come back on any story. If you mention it, we'll talk about it, even if it's something we wouldn't have been covering otherwise. So do make sure. And that's
the best kind. If it is an unusual news story, then let us know, because that's the best. That's what we want. If you want to hear about it, tell us about it.
Exactly. And if you have any feedback on what we've spoken about this week, if you've got any suggestions of who should or shouldn't have been in the night squad, or you're interested in what other things might be involved in the Festival of Rugby League at the Thatcher Magic Weekend in Liverpool, then get in touch and we'll talk about those views on next week's show. Okay, Tim, we're into the meat of the show now, the Super League match reviews, where we're going to talk about round 8 of Super League. Average attendance this weekend was 8,332, which ranks it 5th out of 8 rounds so far this season, but still a reasonably healthy average attendance there for us to get on board.
Yeah, there's been a few people whinging about it on Twitter, and sort of a few people I don't really like to give too much airtime or credit to in particular, but I think it is partly because they were comparing it with Good Friday last year, which was the same round. which is just ridiculous because you're not comparing anything like, and because it was Mother's Day and that weekend, that always takes a dent out of it.
That's just ludicrous, comparing it to to an Easter weekend game.
Yeah.
That's just no sense in that. I mean, I don't know who that was, but that's just not that's just not thinking about what you're saying. To me, it's not, It's
or
not really
it's saying things to deliberately wind people up.
Yeah, possibly so. Okay.
Anyway.
The first game was the best attended game of the round, and in a weird way, probably slightly disappointing. But I know Headingley has its issues so far, still getting all up to scratch around the ground. So we'll see how that goes on. But do you want to take us through that Thursday night game, the game I nearly forgot? I don't know how.
So it finished Leeds 21, Castleford 20. At half-time, it was 10 points to 4 to the home side. In front of 12,295, saw Mr. Ben Failer take the whistle. And what a game it was. The stats tell us a few things. Firstly, they do focus pretty much on Leeds. They had the better of the positives, slightly more metres, more tackle busts, and 5 more breaks. They also had the worst of the negatives, conceding 1 more penalty and losing the error count 11-7. The result form stats.
Oh, that's a typo.
Yeah. The result.
I apologise.
From stats that look like that is a close game. There we go. Okay. I wonder what was going on there. In terms of the winning Leeds side, players that stood out: Jack Walker with 1 try assists and running for 163 metres. Conrad the Bus Hurrell scoring a try, really powering over for that try. Getting himself a try assist, making 5 tackle busts, probably all in that run, to be fair.
And run.
Running for 131 metres. Brad Dyer, 1 try assist, 47 tackles, 116 metres, and most crucially, 1 drop goal. Cam Smith, 49 tackles, 10 marker tackles, and 127 metres in the boot. In terms of Castleford, Liam Watts, 1 try, 41 tackles and 210 metres he ran. Phenomenal performance of someone in the front row. Junior Moores ran for 133 metres. Peter Matautia, 2 try assists, 6 tackle busts, 108 metres. And James Clare, 121 metres run for him. We had a ridiculous amount of fan views, one of the best ones we've had. Mark, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, and we are first up with Carsten, back to his normal place in the rundown. He said, "Wow, that finish was intense. Leeds found a field goal kicker and Paul McShane plays like Robbie Farah in a Blues jersey. The Leeds marquee players were worth the money and Cass missed too much of the game."
Owen Hughes, nice to hear from you, Owen, said, "You can say what you want about too many close-ups of the coaches, but the shot of Furner saying, 'What the fuck is he doing?' as Brad kicks, followed by the reaction when it goes over, is my favourite comedy moment of the season."
I think he actually said, "Not fucking Dwyer."
Not fucking Dwyer. I think that was what was said. Feel sorry for Cass, though. Thought they deserved to draw or more there, but I suppose they should expect to lose after a poor first 60 minutes. Good game in the end.
Someone called KM, which I'm thinking is a new person, so thanks for getting in touch.
Welcome aboard, KM.
Said, "Why be ashamed of a draw? Golden point is a gimmick which is likely to be decided by a coin toss. If the RFL keep this, both teams must be given a chance of possession. Otherwise, just spin a coin at 80 minutes and have done."
I disagree with that.
That's interesting. It's an interesting note because it's kind of been talked about a lot. I mean, I was listening to the BBC Manchester phone-in, as we know, always the pinnacle of rugby league debate.
Paragon of Balance, yeah.
On Sunday, and they did this topic.
To be fair, it's better than the Radio Humberside. Whenever they let people call in.
So this did come up as a topic on that, and people were trying to suggest different ways to mix it about, and I suppose the simplest response came from my cousin in the back of the car who didn't even know Golden Point had been introduced because she's not really switched on to going to games that much this year. In the last few years, but she came to this one and she said, "Why can't we just have draws?" Which I know a lot of our listeners echo, but I think, and I might be wrong, but I think that Wigan won the coin toss in the game against Hull FC and backed their defence to restrict Hull FC's metres. What they failed to do was not give away a penalty that gave Hull FC the field position to score, without Wigan possessing the ball. And then in the Leeds game, I mean, in this game that we're talking about, I'm sure you'll talk about it more later on, but that drop goal was not exactly expected. Or
it wasn't your coaching book drop goal, was it? It wasn't 20 metres out in front of the sticks, line forward, takes it in, gets the quick play of the ball, scoots it out to half back waiting in the pocket. Exactly.
It wasn't like what we saw come from Blake Austin, for example, on the game the next night. But so is it not dramatic and exciting to see people try and kick 40-metre drop goals? Because when did that become like a thing that's not spectacular? I don't really care how long or short, how many people have the ball. If we're seeing dramatic, spectacular moments that make Owen talk about it being like his favourite moment of the season, no matter why it's his favourite moment of the season, that's what we want to be talking about, I think. So,
and those last 5 minutes wouldn't have been nearly as exciting without Golden Point, because if it was just a draw and both sides got 1 point, I reckon they probably would have settled in those last couple of minutes where McShane was chasing on everything. McShane wouldn't have disappeared down that blind alley if it was just a chance to win it. I think the fact that there was the jeopardy of Golden Point actually made them over try.
I see it maybe slightly the other way, but still in a positive way, that the second chance of Golden Point meant you might do something a little bit differently in the closing stages, like when Paul McShane ran it, which, Carson talks about not the right thing to do. I'm sure more people will touch on it, but...
Well, he even said himself, didn't he, straight after the game?
Yeah.
He came out and said, it was my decision that cost it.
Yeah, but thanks for getting in touch, KM. I know a lot of our listeners and a lot of people I talk to as well do feel like Golden Point is a bit of a gimmick, and what's wrong.
But it's got us talking about the game, and it's got a lot of people exercised about it, which for Rob Elston and for Sky and the drama they've had out of it, I think that's what they want.
Yeah, pushing the brand up. Okay, Mark Butler, what did he say?
Mark Butler says, some teams watch the famous clip from Any Given Sunday to motivate themselves. Leeds and Cass mixed it up and watched the video of Jean van der Velde taking his shoes and socks off to hit a shot from the water hazard out the open instead. My ex was his babysitter. True story. Jean van der Velde.
Isn't he a bit old for your ex to have babysitted for
him? Apparently not. Apparently he was still golfing a few years ago. And she was babysitter to the Stars because she babysit for the England cricket team as well.
The suggestion was that he didn't need a babysitter because he's a fully grown man.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, and I totally missed that one.
I don't think I set it up well enough. Anyway, moving on. What else did?
Yeah, like a Leeds drop goal, he didn't set it up well enough. Powell grumbled that Leeds celebrated like it was a cup win. If Cass are going to shit themselves like it's a cup final, then why not? Oh, Mark, that was superb. Didn't think that was going anywhere, then just hits us back on the blind.
A review of the week. Dr. Bob Phillips said, what the duck? No? Yes! Yes! Yes!
POB 1976 says, Leeds in command until the comeback from Cass. If only Cass would have gone for the drop goal with 10 seconds to go rather than running it, it could have been oh so different. Great drop goal to win it for Leeds.
Genghis Campbell said, not sure what I enjoyed more, Dwyer's Golden Point or McShane's elbow on Byler. The Leeds brass scuttled out of their bunkers to celebrate their win and the Rhinos are officially no longer in crisis. Headingley looks very impressive. Off to see if they sell Tetleys at the LCBO. Answer the postcard.
Yeah. Joshua's granddad said, Rob must be crying into his beer. So many chances and Cass blows it big time. What the hell was McShane thinking of going himself? Ironic, the only one that put over Watts had dropped his elbow out looked like Leeds had blown another win, but just held on. I think I prefer them at the bottom of the table, though. Yeah, we need the Sarah translator back for this one.
John, punctuation. Tom Andrews. Tom Andrews says, didn't watch the game, but I had to comment on Furner letting his inner fan out whilst that drop goal was happening. Funniest moment